Welcome to the Health Fix podcast, where health junkies get their weekly fix of tips, tools, and techniques to have limitless energy, sharp minds, and fit physiques for life. Hey, health junkies, Dr. Jannine Krause here. On this episode of the Health Fix podcast, I'm interviewing Dr. Anna-Marie Frank. She's known as the Mindset Doctor. She's a visionary leader with over 2 decades of expertise in human health and mindset transformation. She holds a PhD in natural medicine. She's a certified expert in brain health and traditional naturopathy. She is the founder of Happy Whole You, a wellness center in Bakersfield, California, and she is a pioneer in destigmatizing mental health and helping individuals achieve holistic well-being. And today we are going to be talking about what goes on in her wellness clinic and the idea of getting out of your day-to-day environment to serve as a catalyst for your wellness. And one of the big things that I love to do is wellness travel, go to different places to try out different spas, to try out different wellness clinics. And Dr. Anna-Marie has a lovely one in Bakersfield. And here's the thing. We talk about how, yes, there's really expensive places you can go, and you can travel to Europe. You can do all kinds of really cool things. And I'm all for all of it. But you can also do things stateside. And Bakersfield is a lovely place to go. It's warm for all of us that may be getting cold and rainy in the fall through the winter up in the Pacific Northwest or even Wisconsin, where I live most of the time. And it's one of those things I had in my mind. I'm like, it's like a quick escape, especially for the folks in the Pacific Northwest, because it's a quick flight down towards Bakersfield. And she has quite the thing going on there. So as a little bit of a twist on my podcast, I'm still going to be bringing you the fun wellness things that we talk about in interviewing folks that I really want to talk about. There are certain things that they've got going on. This podcast is going to be a highlight series where I bring in certain folks that I know personally, and they have wellness clinics. I really wanted to bring Dr. Anna-Marie Frank on because I wanted her to share about the amazing wellness clinic that she has built in Bakersfield. It's a quick trip down from Washington State. It's a lovely escape for us from the Midwest to get into the warm weather in the Bakersfield area. And just the idea here is, with so much AI out there, with so much of us not knowing what we're getting into when it comes to going for a wellness trip, I wanted to share with you someone that I personally know, someone that I stand behind 100% and absolutely love what she's doing, and wanted to share that with you because, there's lots of big clinics out there that I don't know what's going on there and can't really advise what you would get from this kind of an experience. Whereas with Dr. Anna-Marie, I know her personally, I consult with her. And so I really want to create a community of places that folks can escape to for wellness and serve as catalysts for change. So Dr. Anna-Marie and I have a wonderful conversation about her wellness center, but not only that, the different devices she has and what they do. So this podcast isn't just for someone looking for a wellness escape. This is for anyone who's looking to learn what is out there when it comes to getting away from home and seeing what you can do with your health over a quick weekend, a whole day, a week. All right, let's reintroduce you to Dr. Anna-Marie Frank. Dr. Anna-Marie Frank, welcome back to the Health Fix podcast.
Thank you. So happy to be here as always.
Oh my goodness. I had to bring you back because you have like the coolest place ever in Bakersfield, California, and folks need to know about it. And like all of us in the Pacific Northwest, it's not that far. And even for the
Mhm.
folks that are in Wisconsin, you could get a flight pretty easy
Yes.
out of, Milwaukee, even some of the smaller airports to go hang out. So I saw a post that you posted just the other day about, I own a wellness clinic and I'm not using it. And I had to laugh. I had to laugh because I was like, oh my God, I have multiple friends in the wellness space. And sometimes when I'm feeling like overwhelmed and whatnot, I will gravitate towards like, I'm going to go hide in my own hole and do my mobility work and my
Yes.
meditations. And then I'm like, what the heck am I doing? So tell us a little bit about what was happening the other day for you. And you were like, oh my God, I need some help.
Well, it was like juggling a million things as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a mother. It was, like, so many things, and I'm at my desk, and I'm, like, typing, and I'm just feeling my energy just, like, draining. And normally when that happens, I'll, like, get up, I'll tap my chest, I'll go outside in the sun, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can just literally go lay down, and people will take care of me." And I did that, and I was like, "Claudia, can you give me a facial right now?" And then I, like, got in the cryo, and then I just, like, literally just did a few things, and it just revamped me. And I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes, even though I have the wellness center, I always am thinking like the grass is greener on the other side. Like, oh, I need to go. Like, I'm going to Newport today, or I go to these other places, and I'm like, hello, sister. Like, it's right in front of us. We think we have to go to another country or whatever, and it's, like, literally right here, right in front of us, and so I think it's comical that we do that. We, like, are online searching, "I need to go to Costa Rica, I need to do this," when it's like, maybe we just need 2 days or 3 days or just, like, an afternoon where we can just, like, get back to grounding, get back to, like, rest, digest, and, feel like ourselves again.
Oh my gosh, you're
Mm.
so right. And I laugh because I mean, I do it too. I'll be like, sitting there like yesterday, I think there was something like going on yesterday with the portals and the energy
Yeah,
of the
the
universe
full
because
moons and all the things.
something, right? Right? Cuz like I felt my left eye like going like this, like getting tired and that's like my sign by my body that's like, yo, take a break. And so I put like a timer on my phone for 10 minutes. I was out. Like
Nice,
totally
yeah.
out when that thing turned like started making its music. I was like, where am I? And these are the things that like I really want people to realize that even those of us in the wellness space
Mhm,
sometimes straight up forget the resources that we
mhm,
have. And
mhm.
and and so of course if we forget, what's the general, population going to be doing? Forgetting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is why I really wanted to talk about all the things you have at Happy Whole You, but also because, we had just talked about before hitting record. I don't know what it is about Bakersfield. People are like, isn't it just like farms and like country stuff? And I'm like, no, there's a whole mecca of cool things like rivers and you can hike and there's trails. And then you have
Yes.
Dr. Anna Marie's place. So how did you end up in Bakersfield first and foremost? And then we got to talk about the Johnny Carson thing you told me.
Yes. Well, I actually so when I graduated university in Michigan, it was in '05, so that's giving me my age, but there were no jobs there, and so I was looking at either moving to New York, Florida, or California because that's where hiring was happening, and so I was recruited by the largest high school in the state of California to come to Kern County in Bakersfield, California. And I chose to do it because they offered me the most money and I was like 22 years old. And I thought, I'll just go out there, be there for like 3 years, and then move back to Michigan. But then '08 hit, and then I was like, oh, I'll be out here another 3 years. Well, then I met my husband, had some babies, and started building roots here and did my master's degree, my PhD. And I will be honest with you, when I first moved here, it was like I didn't really invest in relationships that much because I kept thinking I was just going to move away and I like didn't want to get too deep. But the moment I realized like this is like my new home, I started to discover like we have Kernville that's like an hour or 45 minutes away and it's up in the mountains. It's this cute little town where the Kern River flows through it. The Kern River flows right through Bakersfield. There's Hart Park where we go hiking. I love going hiking up at Hart Park. It's absolutely beautiful. Lake Ming is over there. There's so many cool little eclectic spots like downtown in Bakersfield, which is where my center is. And yeah, Bakersfield just started growing on me and growing on me. And it's literally, you're like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the beach. You can go up to the mountains. Like it's just like a really good area that you can go to so many different places and yeah, experience so many things. And California is just absolutely incredible in terms of the landscape and the weather. And we're the heat here. So we're like a palm desert here with the heat in the summer. But yeah, it's then you just come to my place and do cold plunge or cryo and you're good.
And that's how it works. I mean, I
Mhm.
think a lot of times we'll think about different places and especially for those of us that live up in the Seattle Tacoma area, we get to like November and we all know like as soon as Halloween hits, we're not going to see the
Mhm.
sun for a while. And
Yeah.
so we could come down by you and
Yes.
hang out. I think that's one of the things that a lot of folks will be like, "Oh, it's so hot there." And I think, it's all kind of relative in terms of
Mhm.
how we look at it. But you were mentioning that Bakersfield kind of has a bad rap in the, at least what I've heard from Pacific Northwest folks. They're like, "Oh, Bakersfield." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"You said Johnny Carson said like they snubbed him or
Ye
something? What did
yes.
they do?"
Okay, so first of all, one of my friends, she owns the most fabulous restaurant. It's like 3 blocks away. It's called Locale Farm to Table, and she loves history, and, she was telling me about how back in the day on the Johnny Carson show, somehow, something, I don't know the details, but ultimately, high level overview, Bakersfield somehow snubbed Johnny Carson, and he started talking smack about Bakersfield, and somehow it just kind of snowballed and Bakersfield got this really bad rap. But I mean, there is oil here. There is so much farming here. There is all of those things, but there's also music industry here. And so it's pretty interesting how like something, in Hollywood can put such a perception on a location. And I will say like there's so many people I've met that have moved away from Bakersfield and they come back. And I mean, I'm not even originally from here, like I said, but it's really interesting. It's a very affordable place. I always say like Happy Hole U, we give you a Beverly Hills experience for a Bakersfield price, which is amazing. But the people here are so great. That's the other thing is the people here are amazing. And the food. If you are a food person, talk about fresh, talk about really good food, like, Bakersfield does it right. We have Basque restaurants, like I said, my friend Locale Farm to Table. We have so many cute coffee shops, and I'll just, like, literally can walk downtown and go to any coffee shop and get my laptop out and just start writing. So it is really a great place to raise a family and to be, and there's so many great places to go here.
I've watched over the years your Instagram and seen, you bring local folks on and you guys are talking and you have lots of events and I'm like, this is so neat. And I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed is like there are people really trying to do things wellness,
Mhm.
inspired all around you in that area. And of course, and I'm sure you've heard this coming from the Midwest. A lot of Midwest folks are like, oh, those California people.
Yeah, well,
They're
I'm a Midwest girl, so I play both ends of that.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now I know where we stand on
Mhm.
that. Cause yeah, sometimes I'll
Yeah,
play both ends too. but
yeah.
but it is like, okay, yes, the hippy dippy, oh, they're gonna do things, this way, that way. But it's also like we have the opportunity. You are in farm country. There is the opportunity for fresh local foods. And I think one of the big things that folks, that at least when I talk to them and they're trying to plan a vacation and they know I've been somewhere, they're like, okay, where did you eat? Where did you go
Yeah.
hike? Where did you run? What did you do? Because they want to create a wellness space. Because I think the days for a lot of people of going on vacation and just, blowing their diets and drinking themselves silly is
Mhm.
kind of coming to an end.
Yeah, and blowing their wallets too, like, the amount of money as well. So, yeah, the one thing I love about what you're doing, and I was telling you this before, is I don't other than searching the World Wide Web and hopefully trusting the links that you're clicking on, I just know as I get older, I want to talk to somebody who knows someone who can connect me with wherever I'm traveling. Like, I want to know like the little sweet spots, like the Hart Park of Bakersfield. I want to know the amazing places just to eat, not just who's paying for advertising on Yelp. You want to know where those hidden gems are. And that's where you connecting with like these different practitioners in these different locations to get people plugged in to true wellness and the most bang for their buck is everything. Like I think this is the most incredible thing and I think that with people not having that personal connection And that's, I believe, what we want. Like you're plugging them in with a personal connection of an amazing opportunity for a wellness retreat, but then you're also plugging them into people that are truly investing. It's like, yeah, we could all go to the Ritz-Carlton and pay, 200, $250 for a 45-minute massage. And then it's a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, done. And yeah, it felt really good and you felt luxurious. But then where's the connection? And I think that's the piece that is incredible of what you're creating here. Because I know when it comes to my personal health, I'm only working with practitioners who I feel connected with. Like, I was literally about a year ago having a nervous breakdown and my hormones were out of whack. And I was walking in a parking lot and I called you, girl. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. And like, I was like, just like going through it. And I had you in my back pocket to be able to call and to talk to. And I think like, that's what we need. I don't know, especially as women in midlife, like, give me the other women that are gonna catch me when I'm falling and not just try to sell me something and give me a bunch of fluff, like, that are truly going to help me. And so, praise to you for what you're up to right now, and I don't even know if your audience fully understands what you're doing yet, but they need to know.
Well, thank you for mentioning it. And yes, this is one of the rollouts where we're starting to talk about how I want to connect folks with their travel, and I want to connect with, them to help them to whatever health goal we're looking at, how we can help them, how we can move them forward. And the beautiful thing about having folks come down to you and really have a wellness trip that's not going to cost the prices of Miraval or Canyon Ranch
Mhm.
or, and no offense to those, like awesome.
Yeah.
But a lot of us, like, I can't afford something like that. So for me, it's like I need to have something that I can do that is cost effective. Plus, I go to Canyon Ranch once, I'm done. We can go to your place like four times for the amount of Canyon Ranch, right? So I can keep going. So this is the
Yeah.
other side of it too. But I think, my biggest MO is making wellness travel affordable, and so that we don't have to go to Thailand. We're not going somewhere that,
Mhm.
there's a language barrier, there's all the different things. And one of the things that I really love about your space is you've got an Airbnb not too far
Mhm.
from the clinic. You've got the Padre Hotel a couple blocks down, I think. And then, like you
Mhm.
mentioned, locale, all of that is all in this close area. You don't even need a resort to be able
Yeah.
to do this. And so it makes me happy to just be able to see that opportunity. Now, of course, I've seen that you also have the Sundays, and you've been bringing in folks on Sundays for a while now. Are you seeing
Yeah.
like women coming down from, other places? Like what give us a little like hint of like ideas for folks to think about, like bachelorette parties,
Mhm.
baby moons. What are you seeing
Yes.
in terms of people coming down and hanging out?
S Yeah, so, yeah, bachelorette parties if you want something healthy and fun, birthday parties where you can come and just have like, we have this back patio area, we call it fire and ice. So you have a barrel sauna and an outdoor cold plunge, and there's a shower back there, and just lots of greenery, and so you just have the back patio, and you'll go back and forth from the sauna to the cold plunge, and just hanging out there with some friends. Or like I have companies and people that will rent out the whole space. And so you and maybe it's five of your friends, 10 of your friends, for X amount of hours can access the whole space. And it's really, I mean, it's just me. So whatever we want to create together, we can totally do it. And so the sky's the limit, but we have literally people travel from all over to come to Happy Whole You because under one roof, we have a nurse that can come in and do IVs. We have a cold plunge. We have a cryo. We have two different types of saunas. We have a salt sauna, outdoor barrel sauna. We have an indoor infrared full spectrum medical grade sauna. We have biocharger. I have colonic systems. We have a bioharmonic bed. We have spinal alignment. We're building our salt room right now. We have hyperbaric uh, pod. I mean, we have literally like a full body red light bed. So many amazing biohacking technologies under one roof, but then we marry that with customized Chinese medicine, different herbs. We test people like, what is your body testing for? My initial session with someone, I spend 2 hours with them. I'm looking at your eyes, I'm looking at your tongue, your face, your fingernails. What is your body screaming for? What does your body need? And so everything we do is customized to the client when they walk in that door. And we really pride ourselves on the greatest customer service, but ultimately figuring out what your body is calling for, not just like a one size fits all.
That's huge because that is what you get from a lot of different places, just so
Mhm.
that you guys know. And some of the higher end ones are much like that, unless you do pay extra to have the doctor look at you. Now, if you're going to places like Czech Republic, or you're going like Karlovy Vary, or you're going to some of the places in Budapest, Ukraine, etc., you may have a doc that's going to look at you and see what's going on. The only issue is language barriers, what I've heard has been a
Mm,
big
yeah.
issue. And so
Yeah.
then it's like,
Hmm.
then what?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
in Bakersfield, do you have folks in your on your staff that will translate for you if someone's coming in speaking Spanish and that's their
Yeah.
predominant language? I had a thought.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely Spanish. We do for
Yeah.
people. We'll translate. Absolutely.
I thought so. And I mean, because California, of course, but now it's seeming, everywhere at this point, we've got a lot of need for the Spanish speaking. And of course, I am fluent as well, but I am not as good as a native speaker. So you get white girl Spanish with a lot of influence there from the families I've lived with in Mexico. So there you have it. But one of the things that I really wanted to hone back in on is that you're mentioning Chinese medicine. Of course, that's my favorite thing in the
Mhm.
whole world. You also do a lot of
Yeah.
herbs. I've tested out your teas. I've tested out, a lot of your vitamins and vitamin products. And one of the things, guys, is she's doing testing and muscle testing as well,
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. So I use biofeedback. I'll use muscle response testing. Again, like I use iridology, figuring out what your body's telling us. So it's not like a one size fits all shot in the dark. We're really looking at what your body's calling for.
And so when you're doing that, like I think a lot of people, I've never talked about muscle testing or biofeedback or any of that. I
Hmm.
think a lot of people think when we say we're going to look and test and see, they think blood labs. And
Right.
when they're coming down to see you, sure, they could have labs drawn and
Hmm.
review later. But if they're coming down to see you and maybe they bring labs with, but you want a muscle test or you want to do a test just to see like how is something going, let's talk folks through like how you do it, what you're doing, so that they can understand a little bit more too of how that works because I haven't talked about it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, everything in the body vibrates at a very specific frequency. And so when we use biofeedback, we're trying to match different frequencies. When you cannot match up the frequency, it's going to send a signal back that there's something off with the system. Just think of it as tuning in your radio station, right? You're
Hmm.
tuning in the radio station, you have the very specific station, it's sending a frequency signal in the air. That frequency finds its match, and boom, you have clear music. But if the frequency is off, it's kind of like you can hear the song, but then you hear other things. There's a lot of static. Essentially, that's what can be happening in the body. There can be misfiring, missignaling, static going on, and we don't feel right. So that's kind of the biofeedback aspect of it with using a device that I use to test for the biofeedback because I can test 120,000 frequencies within the first 45 minutes. Now, if I were to try to physically muscle response test or kinesiology test your body or energy test your body. Those are kinesiology and muscle testing is the same. Energy testing feels the same, kind of looks the same, but they are different. But I use both modalities. It takes me a little bit longer because I will touch the body and test different points. So even on the body, testing meridians, if there's blockages there, testing like right here, if I were to touch your neck right here and push on your arm, if I push on that spot and it's weak, usually that's an indicator of you have a mineral deficiency. Then I can look at your fingernails. If you have these white dots on the fingernails and raised vertical lines, again, that can be a sign of digestion disruption that's causing mineral deficiency. So I use what I call the triangular approach. I'm going to look at three different modalities, and if they're all pointing to mineral deficiency, boom, we have that answer. I can look at the eyes. If they're all pointing to liver dysregulation, congested liver, or digestive disruption, hey, we're going to address the liver and digestion. So these are just some of the ways that I test the body beyond the blood work. I mean, sure, I can send you a link to say Function Health, or, Dr. Janine, you can send them the link to go and through Full Script and get blood work and do all that. And we can get blood work, absolutely, and use that Western modality marker as well. But I'm all about, what is your body presenting in front of me right now? And
Hmm.
testing in a way that is ancient wisdom. Because, before blood work, this is how doctors would work with people. They would feel their pulse. They would look at their tongue. We look at their skin color. Are they pale? Are they having dark circles under their eyes? What is the body presenting to us? Because blood work is just one snapshot, and also blood work, there's error in blood work as well. I mean, there's error in all of it, but I don't think it's the one thing. But we've been taught in this country that, oh, it's blood work, like that's what we need, and that's the holy grail, and it's absolutely not.
I can't express that enough. I mean, over the years, and the folks who've been listening to this podcast have probably seen like the me going back to the basics, going back
Mhm.
to like my roots as a naturopath, because being able to see what's going on besides the labs. Because I'll miss
Mhm.
stuff by focusing on a lab and not paying attention to what's right in front of my face. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just last week it happened to me, and I'm like, what the heck are you doing, girl? It's so important. And then that's, what's cool about that is if all of the triangulating is going towards one particular area, when folks come to see you, you could be like, this is going to be a good total protocol for you. So not just the
yeah,
herbs, not just a supplement, not just minerals, other things.
yeah.
Tell us the
And
other things, but go ahead.
yeah. Well, I just want to share. So this is such an incredible story that just over the last 90 days I had with a girl. She was about 10 years old. She had blood work done and her thyroid was off. Her TSH was over 200. For anyone that's wondering, that's like astronomically high. The mother was like, didn't know what to do. She's been to UCLA, she's been to all these doctors, had all this testing done. And of course, they're focused on the thyroid. They told the mom, hey, we're probably going to have to take her thyroid out when she's 20. Like, she needs to go on all these medications. And the mom was like, something else must be going on. Like, this isn't normal for a 10-year-old to have this issue. And she brought her to me. And when people come to me, I actually like to not know anything up front. So I do the full evaluation, all the things, so I don't want to be led down any path. Anyways, I put up a protocol for this gal, for this young girl, and we used some plant stem cells and we used some of the different herbs. And she did biocharger, I think, a couple times at the center, but she didn't do like a full-on program. I mean, she's 10 years old, so we just started easy. Within 60 days, her number went down from over 200 to 5.68 or something like that,
Okay.
without increasing her medications. The doctors were like, what is happening? Like, this is crazy, but she still should go on this. And like, of course, they're only using blood work. And we were addressing this young girl's foundations of health. And she is literally almost out of the woods of what she was dealing with. So when we only look at blood work, we're missing an incredible map right in front of our faces. So many people will say, oh, my blood work looks fine, or my blood work is off. And the only remedy when the blood work is off is medication. That should be a warning signal to all of us. If they're only offering medication, that is a warning signal, because medication is not going to heal the body. It is going to cover up the signals the body is sending us, because those signals the body is sending us is saying, hey, something is off. I need you to try something different, not covering up the signals. So, yeah, I just had to get on my soapbox for a minute and share that.
I love the soapbox. I am so on board with that. And like so many people will be like, there's not a deficiency of a medication. There isn't. And so it's like, why would we do this? And with the thyroid, gosh, I have found like I used to kind of chase labs a little bit like back in the day. And I think it comes back to not trusting your ability to see the signals in the body. And once you start to be able to trust yourself, then you're like, oh. And I don't know how many times we've been able to get someone's thyroid in check without having to use meds, especially when
Mhm.
it's like new and they're younger. too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like if I could tell people, like, more often than not, it's not the thyroid that's off. It's just the signal that's telling you.
Yeah.
And
And
so, of course, I'm curious. I know you're gonna say something. Go ahead. I'm like,
uh,
what was
no.
off? Like, what showed off on her? I'm curious.
Oh, well, first of all, her not speaking up in her life. Her digestive system was off, and it really came back to the digestive system and, her anxiety and not being able to speak up and use her voice, which is the thyroid is all about the throat chakra and using your voice. And so it like sometimes I have to pinch myself. I'm like, really, was it this easy? But nobody was looking at her digestive system. Nobody was looking at the fact that this girl has, she's anxious and she's super quiet. She's not using her voice, right? So it's the emotions that get stored in the body that weaken tissue over time. We have to address not just the physical and the biochemical, but we do have to address the energetics, the emotions, how people are thinking and speaking about their life, their perception of how they are living, because this is impacting their physical biology. And we don't think about that when in Western medicine. They don't have time for it.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And I we can only hope that it changes over time. But yes, the thyroid, the emotion, like, oh my gosh, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. And this is where too, like at my wellness center, kids are welcome. So often when we take wellness retreats, it's for 18 and older, but maybe you want to take, a 3-day weekend with your 12-year-old or your 10-year-old or your 15-year-old. And we have services and we will curate something beautiful for you and your child, or for you and your grandchild, or for, your family of four. So we want wellness to be for the whole family, not just for mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. We want this to be for the whole family and make it like fun. My sister's in town with my niece who is 15 years old. And yesterday we had a girls' day and we did facials, we did red light, we all did cryo together. We all like just had a day at my wellness center. And so it was really special for my sister and her daughter, and my daughter, who's 14, and myself to just like have that day to just walk around in our robes and, our little booties and be pampered. And it was really great. So that's another piece that I think is incredible with what you're doing is this is for the whole family. This isn't just for, the parents. And so I think that's a really special piece as well.
Her. Incredible, because that's one thing that we find, like, as an exclude, let's say it's exclusive to adults often. And I think any age, at one time I was doing acupuncture on a 4-year-old who was like the chillest kid ever. She was like, okay. I'm like, I could see her there. I wonder where she is now. But I look at it and go, why not? Why not?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I think a lot of us do think that we have to leave the kids behind. So then that's a barrier to
Right.
how to do this.
Daycare, getting a sitter for the house. Yeah, I mean, all of that, and especially if we go to, another country, the time off of work, um, I just sometimes I just feel like I need like I said, 2 days or 3 days of just like getting away and just like doing me, and to fly to Costa Rica or something like that, for 3 days. Yes, it's doable, but it also feels like energetically like a lot of pressure because when I go, I wanna go for, like, at least a week, you know what I mean? So, doing something where it's, like, stateside and, I can get over there, do the things, and then head back home, and I can bring my anytime I can bring my kids because 'cause they're 14 and 16 right now, I'm like, "Absolutely, I'm flying to Michigan next week, and my son and my daughter are going. And then my son and I are going to New York on a trip, and then we're going to Austin, Texas, and I'm going to a conference for adults. And there's also a conference for kids, for teens. And I'm like, I love that. I love when I can take my kids and I can get my little refill and then my kids are experiencing something new as well. So I'm just at that age with my kids where I want to be able to not leave them behind because I know my son's gonna be 18 before I know it, and they're gonna be moving on, and these are, like, I feel like the golden years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just had that conversation with another friend of mine who her daughter graduated high school and she's like, it just went so fast,
It does.
and then here we are.
Totally.
What can we do? And this would be a great like mom daughter college little getaway too, like after say after finals or something, as a
Oh,
nice
yeah. Yeah.
little
Even
group.
dads. I actually had, a son and a dad, and they were both, like, really fit, and they were into sports. He was probably about 14 years old, but they came for, like, 3 days, and every day they did the fire and ice together, and they just had, like, the best time, and it was just so cool and cute to see, that they were doing that, and then they'd go grab lunch after, and it was really cool, really special.
It's one of the things you mentioned that you don't see that advertised as much
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
your son to hang out in the wellness center and do things like that. Maybe at the gym, but you don't think of
Right.
this. How like what would you say your percentage of men that are coming in, and even the sons, like what would you say in terms of like your total group? Like how
Mm.
is it?
Usually the women come in first,
Yeah.
and then the men follow, but I would say it's probably like a 60-40 split. The
Wow.
men will come in, they'll do like leg compression, they like the saunas, they like the cold plunge, they like the cryo. So those are kind of like their staples and spinal alignment because a lot of men have like back issues and things like that. So those are the things that the men mostly do.
Nice. Nice.
Mhm,
Well, like going back to the whole family concept, I love it when the whole family's doing the wellness thing together
mhm.
and it's not just mom and oh mom's doing her thing. Like we
Yeah.
want families to be well together, you know? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
that's so cool. So tell us a little bit about what a package would look like. Like let's walk through like say I'm going to come in and I'm going to bring like my family. What would it
Mhm.
look like for them to come in and what would a day look like? Say that everyone's generally well, we're just wanting to like optimize.
Yes. So, really, ideally, I'd love to see everyone in the family. So, the first day we would do where I would evaluate each person, and then usually what we do, if it's kids involved, sometimes the parents want to stay in the room while we're doing that. And then while I'm evaluating one, we always send the other person off to do some services. So, like, you're never just like waiting around. We always like if you're in the space for you to be doing something. So once we evaluate and figure out, okay, what is your body calling for? What are you needing? What organ systems are screaming for help? Then we'll curate a package around, what it is that your body needs. And are you there for 2 days? Are you there for 3 days? Are you there for 5 days? Like, how many days are you there? Are you there for just the day? Because we can get a lot done in a day for sure. And so once we figure out what's going on with you, I always write up recommendations for my clients. So this is things you can do outside of the wellness center, maybe foods you test sensitive to, different exercises that are best for your brain type, just different holistic modalities you can do outside of the center. And then I will recommend different services in the center. And then I always write out custom settings for each of the services. So my team, when they know that you're going into biocharger or you're doing the bioharmonic bed or whatever it is you're doing, they know what settings that are specific to your body. And then I may recommend nutraceuticals, and it may be some of our product line. It may be plant stem cells that we have. It may be, hey, I want you to go to, there's a local health food store about, I don't know, 6 minutes away from the center. Go to Lassen's or a Sprouts and, hey, pick up this product. Or, hey, my team will go actually get this product and deliver it to the Airbnb tonight, just so you don't have to go and do that thing. And then also, like, I have a friend of mine who is a chef, and she actually worked in was in China for like 3 years for professional sports
Oh,
teams,
wow.
and she can deliver fresh meals to the Airbnb for you each and every day. She also has these elixirs that she makes. So like I have like a team of people that depending on what you're looking for, we can bougie it up as much as you want. And depending on again what you need before you get there with your family. I will do a quick call with you, or our team will do a quick call and figure out you know just some baseline things. What are you expecting? What are you wanting? What are some things that you would love to walk away with? Because we want to fully understand where you're at, where your expectations are, and deliver what it is that you need, and what you're wanting as well. So we're very much, let's create this package together, let's create something together, so you get the best experience that you're desiring.
That's awesome. That's awesome because most of these places, they are not going to do that. You're going to get
No.
there and it's just going to be like whatever is,
You get package A,
depending.
B, or C.
Yeah, yeah, whatever
Yeah.
whatever package you want to do. That's so cool. And like having the food tailored towards someone too is really 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 neat. And you know, I- like I said, like you said, actually you could bougie it up as much as you want, or you can, kind of piecemeal however you want to go about it. And then also you do telehealth. You do continuing care after. And that's something that I think is very important too, because a lot of folks will make a connection with you. They'll want to continue, and I think that's important as well. And so telehealth with you, any other staff members that you have that are like running support for you in terms of consulting?
Yeah, so I do use other, like we have a nurse that comes in, if you want to do some other, like depending on where you're at, I may refer you to other practitioners that I use. So it just depends on like where you're at and what you're needing. We have three chiropractors within the area that we work with. One of them you can walk right over, and for he only charges $45 for an adjustment. So like there's some very affordable things in other practitioners we work with. If you're here for, a few days, there is a couple fitness studios, one to help really with the pelvic floor and Pilates and things like that. And I know the owners, so you don't have to, have a membership, but we can work out, a package of where you get three classes while you're in town for a really fair price. I work a lot with other small businesses and practitioners, and just to again curate what it is that you're looking for and what you need.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, I definitely will be coming later this fall, pending a couple of, besides my doggy has to have the surgery and the dad has to have a surgery. So I got to deal with those two. But once I get that all done, I'm definitely going to come down and we'll do an in-person video and get it up for folks on the podcast, but also on YouTube, so that folks can see a little bit more of what's going on. And hopefully I can bring hubby so he can experience that as
Yes.
well, because
Oh my gosh.
I like the family. I like the family aspect of things, and I'm really glad that you're bringing that in. And I hope to see more of your kiddos on Instagram
Oh yeah.
experiencing this, because I think a lot of people, they just don't think about it till they see it in action, and then they're like, "Oh, I could bring my kid."
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we've got to tell folks about Happy Whole You. We got to tell them how they can find you exactly. And then, of course, guys, I will have all the details at drjkrausend.com. I'll also have them down below here on YouTube. And then anywhere else, you can find Dr. Anna Marie with her website and whatnot. So I'm going to let her tell you all of the best places to find her and what they're up to.
Yeah, so just happywholeyou.com, that will give you all of our services. Actually, I don't even think all of them are up there because we've added more, but most of our services are up on happywholeyou.com. Also, our line of brain nutraceuticals, so the supplements and things that we have. There's also a blog there. We also have a podcast, so a lot of resources. And then on Instagram, Happy Whole You on Instagram, and just you can always call the work number, you can always email us, you can reach out to us on socials, and our team is here to answer questions, to serve you, and just to figure out what it is that's calling for you. And yeah, and we're here for you. We're real people. We're not AI. We're not a answering service. We're literally your old school. Call us up. Let's use our first names. and figure out what it is that you need. So we're here for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's funny, this day in AI, like I keep watching these things and like the Tai Chi walking one kills me. Have you seen that where they're showing people like go from like 300 pounds to like 120 pounds
Oh
in 28
gosh.
days? And you're like, this is gonna ruin Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no. In a
Yeah.
day where AI is so prevalent, like I am so going the opposite direction. I want like
I
this.
connection, real life, let's hug, let's do this, let's have a conversation. Yeah. I actually have had a couple people that I know because we've done podcasting or things in the past and I've sent them emails and I know it's AI responding to me. And it's like, what the heck? And one of them I messaged, I was like, girl, I know this is AI responding to me. And then it sent me some weird message back. Like it again, it wasn't her. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is pretty wild. So yeah, when you call us, when you email us, when you message us on social media, it is a real one of us humans messaging you back. So believe that.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna prove it this fall when I come down that you are a real person.
Yes.
It's just
Oh my
it's
gosh.
it's so weird, but it's true, right? It's true. It's like no,
Mhm.
I answer all of my emails unless like I have my assistant like helping me out. We're still both of us human, but you could probably tell, like you said, you can tell from how someone normally responds, like if you know someone well enough in terms of their verbiage and whatnot. And I'm pretty random, so it would be hard for me to have AI copy because I'll be there. You can't it just doesn't
Nah.
work. AI, you
Oh my
can't do
gosh.
this, you can't do
Mm-mm.
this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, totally.
Oh god, an AI podcast too, like that creeps me out. Like,
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, AI has there's so many benefits to AI, but there's also again, there's that human piece that I feel like we're missing. And even in my own life, like I feel like I do so much remote online that I'm like to the point where I'm like, I want to travel. I want to be in person. I want to see people in person. And that's why we do those live events at Happy Whole You. We'll do like Sundays for the ladies, like you were talking about. I'm doing a free workshop or not workshop, but like panel on July 7 with Miss Courtney McDermott. She's a two-time best-selling author, a celebrity coach. She's absolutely amazing. Another one of my friends, Dr. Monique Rogers. She is a negotiating queen. And we're just doing this free for our community. And we had like 80 tickets available and literally sold out. I mean, they were free, but like sold out. But I am trying to bring back in person. Like, let's do this in person thing, which is why I'm so excited to connect with your audience and just give them that attention from a real human that like we're calling for. I mean, it's human connection. We want belonging. It's in our DNA. And if we're not feeling that and we don't feel connected, we can feel lonely. We can feel, lethargic. We can feel depressed. And so we need more opportunities where we can truly connect with people without spending $10,000 to go to a weekend retreat.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I dream of the old days of like, that's my wellness place. That's where I go hang out because I know the people there. I'm comfortable, and that's so important. Like that's your jam. And for of course my folks, I know I have a lot of listeners that are in Washington State. Like Bakersfield is a quick hop, skip, and a jump down.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't. Don't you guys have an airport that Alaska Airlines flies into? I swear they do, or something
We
close.
have Yeah, we have Bakersfield Airport. So there is American and United who fly into Bakersfield. And so probably from Washington, I know that they do a jaunt to Denver, then straight to Bakersfield. There's a jaunt to um probably San Francisco, then to Bakersfield. I don't know if you guys have a direct flight to Bakersfield, but I always fly in and out of Meadowfields Airport. It's a small airport. It's clean. It's so nice. Things are on time. Like you will not catch me flying out anywhere but Bakersfield. I'm actually going to Italy to do a TED Talk in August, and my flight is literally going from Bakersfield to Dallas to Italy. So, yeah, Bakersfield Airport is amazing.
Oh my gosh, you had put it out there that you were going to do a TED
Oh
Talk.
yeah.
She put this out there. Like it was like last year, wasn't it? I can't even remember. Maybe it was
Yeah.
earlier this year.
Yeah, it was earlier, like within the last 12 months. I'm like, I'm going to do a TED Talk by the end of the year. And I didn't know how it was going to happen. And even my original TED Talk is not what I'm giving the TED Talk on. I'm giving a TED Talk on how I had an original TED Talk and what I was doing to try to get that TED Talk, because I was like grasping it versus relaxing into and allowing the universe to just show me the way. And so when you hear my TED Talk, you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh." Like it's a pretty vulnerable TED Talk. I mean, it's I'm putting myself out there. So, and I'm doing it in Italy, in Cortina, and I'm the only person giving my TED Talk in English. They've never had anyone give a TED Talk in English there before. And Cortina, like if you compare it to the States, it's like more like the Hamptons, like it's a very affluent area. So most people speak English there anyways, but 500 people, so no pressure. I'm like, well, what am I getting myself into? So yeah, so that's happening, which will be fun though, because I get 10 days in Italy.
Gosh, absolutely. Oh gosh, that's exciting. We will look forward to hearing about that, and we'll make sure that we put that out on Instagram when you do that. And oh, see, dreams do come true. So if you guys are dreaming of getting away and something that's
Yes.
affordable and something that's like for you or for your family, whatever jam you're looking for, Dr. Anna
Reach
Marie's
out.
got you. Yeah, and down below, all the details. Alrighty, thank you so much for coming back on, Dr. Anna Marie. And you guys stay tuned till next time. This will be sometime in the fall. I will give you a full real tour of me hanging out. So if you're still on the fence and you want to make sure she's really real and like all legit, I will let you know. Oh my goodness. So, of course, if you guys want to listen to more information like this, learn about cool places you can hang out, and folks that I know personally and are not AI, follow me, like me, and also rate and review. We need so much more of those because it helps to help me put out more word, and of course helps Dr. Anna Marie out too in terms of her mission. So, all right, guys, thanks again for listening to another episode of the Health Fix podcast. Hey, fellow health junkie, thanks for listening to the Health Fix podcast. If you enjoyed tuning in, please help support me to get the word out about the podcast. Subscribe, rate, and review, and just get that word out. Thanks again for listening.